Hello, Mike Diente here, and if you are seeing this because you've been recommended a football video by YouTube, hello, subscribe and stuff. I don't do football content often, but maybe I will soon, you know? The draft is coming up, and I like football, so I'm deciding to do a little draft analysis. Here we go. This is my April 1st, 2023 analysis of the NFL Draft. What position I think every team in the NFL should pick. I'm doing this in one take, so sorry for any misstumblings or whatever. Alright, so starting with the Carolina Panthers. They were 7-10 last year, which is respectable in the sense that they're not at the bottom of the barrel, but they didn't do so hot, you know, they weren't even 500, didn't even make the playoffs. I mean, there's a reason they traded up to the number one pick, you know, Sam Darnold's not that great, so obviously they're going to get a quarterback, and they should. Up next is the Houston Texans. They have the second overall pick. They were 3-13 and one tie last year. If you get a tie, that's like worse than a loss. Their quarterback is apparently this guy named Davis Mills. I've never heard of him. He sounds more like he makes bread than he makes good plays. So yeah, they're obviously going to need a quarterback. The Arizona Cardinals have the third pick. I thought their quarterback was Kyler Murray, but it turns out they ditched him for this guy named David Blough. Clearly, they're just trying to fill the space because they need, get this, a new quarterback. The Colts were 4-12 last year, also with the tie. I think that's to the Texans. Now listen, if you get a tie, that's worse than a loss. But if you're tying a team that's 3-12, you just need everything. But especially, you need a quarterback. Up next is the Seattle Seahawks. They were over 500, not bad, but they don't have Russell Wilson anymore. Their current quarterback is Geno Smith, who's, I mean, again, he's fine, but he's not going to win you a Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks need another quarterback. Up next is the Detroit Lions. Now, they had a good comeback in the second half of this past season. They started something like 0-5 or 0-6, and they ended up 9-8. That's pretty good. But if you want to get to the Super Bowl, if you want to get to the NFC Championship, you're going to need a quarterback that comes in clutch always when he needs to, not just some of the time. Jared Goff is a fine quarterback, but I mean, there's a reason that he scored 3 points against Bill Belichick. Detroit needs a new quarterback. The Raiders were 6-11 last year. They did trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a really good quarterback. The problem is he gets hurt a lot. And getting hurt is not the way to win the Super Bowl. You know, obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles, they won the Super Bowl way back when because Carson Wentz got hurt, but they had a really good backup in Nick Foles. So I think the Raiders are going to need to get a good backup quarterback in the draft if they want to succeed. The Atlanta Falcons have really fallen off since they lost their elite QB in Matt Ryan. They've barely made the playoffs since, what was even their record? Let's see, they're in the NFC, and they were 7-10, worse than the NFC South. Now, granted, the NFC South had a lot of teams that were bad. Actually, that's not a granted. That means the Falcons are even worse, because they were in one of the worst divisions in football. But, I mean, to be fair, they did have to deal with Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. So, I mean, if they want to compete with good teams, they're going to need a new quarterback. The Chicago Bears. 3-13 and... Wait, does that mean there's... Yep, no, 3-14. I'm sorry. I read it as 3-13, confusing them with the Texans. You don't want to get confused with the Texans. And you know what? The Texans need a quarterback. And you know who else needs a quarterback? The Bears. Because if you want to be better than the Texans, you got to at least have a better quarterback than they do. Philadelphia Eagles. They made the Super Bowl this past year. They came pretty close, you know. But the problem was, they relied too much on Jalen Hurts. Remember how I talked earlier about how when Philadelphia won the Super Bowl 52, I think, they had Carson Wentz and they had Nick Foles. So if Philadelphia wants to repeat that success and not just come close to it, they got to get a strong quarterback in the draft. The Tennessee Titans. They were 7-10, not the worst thing in the world, but not the best either. Apparently, they've got a new general manager, and you know what pairs well with a new general manager? A new quarterback. So they should get a quarterback in the draft. Oh, the Jets. The lovely, lovely Jets. They were 7-10 last year. Now, rumors are they're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers. However, the trade hasn't been finalized. Things are being worked out with them in Green Bay, apparently. Who knows what Aaron Rodgers thinks about all this. I think just in case the trade doesn't go through, they should draft another quarterback. New England Patriots. Mac Jones hasn't really worked out. Bailey Zappi, I wish he were better, but something tells me he's just a flash in the pan. New England needs a new quarterback. The Green Bay Packers are a historic team with a historic set of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Brett Favre, Bart Starr, whoever they had in the 80s or 70s or whatever, Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think Jordan Love's the guy. In fact, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the guy anymore. Whether they end up trading Aaron Rodgers or not, they need a new quarterback. The Commanders, or as this draft guide from 2 days ago calls them, the Redskins still, were 8-1. Again, if you're tying, that's worse than if you're a 250 team with only wins and losses. And you know who can not tie a game? A decisive player that will either make you win or make you lose. But you're going to have a definitive answer. You can't be middling and go to the Super Bowl. You can't be literally 500 and be okay with that. You need a new quarterback. The Steelers were a decently respectable 9-8, but if I know anything about, what are they called? The Yinzers. They will not accept 9-8. They won't accept 10-7. I know that they need a Super Bowl. They deserve a Super Bowl. They deserve better. They deserve a better quarterback. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as far as we know, do not have Tom Brady anymore, or rather they will not heading into next season. Just like the New England Patriots, without Tom Brady, the Buccaneers will flounder unless, in this draft, they get a really good quarterback. The Patriots could have had Lamar Jackson. They happened to pick Sony Michel instead and won the Super Bowl, but who knows what would have happened if they had an elite quarterback. The Chargers have it really tough. They've got to deal with Jimmy G. They've got to deal with Russell Wilson. They've got to deal with Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert's fine, but he's nothing special, He's a decent quarterback, but I don't think he's good enough. 10-7 is nice, but not when the Chiefs are in town. You guys got to get a new quarterback. Okay, this time I'm not even kidding when I say that despite currently having, what's his name? I just talked about him. Mr. Lamar Jackson. Yes, that's him. Lamar Jackson has been apparently requesting trades left and right. He wants to go to the Patriots. Cool. So, unironically, the Ravens are going to need a new quarterback. The Vikings, you guys were 13-4 last season, made it to the playoffs. I think you made it to the championship game or something, but you couldn't take it all the way. And frankly, Kirk Cousins is, $1 billion years old at this point? You guys got to get a new quarterback. You need to get someone that's going to be able to play at their highest level for the whole season, not just in the regular season. Jacksonville Jaguars. You guys got Trevor Lawrence a couple years ago, or I think it might have been last year, but 9-8 is not acceptable. If you guys want to actually make yourselves a team in the NFL and not just like get moved to London at some point in the next few years, you guys got to get a new quarterback. New York Giants. If you're a New York Giants fan, you already know what I'm going to say. If you're not a New York Giants fan, you probably have no idea what I'm about to say because you haven't paid attention to the team since 2011. They're 9, 7, and 1. They have a tie. You already know how I feel about this. I'm not even going to say what position I think they need. You can guess for yourself. Just kidding, it's quarterback. They need a quarterback. The Cowboys. America's team, except for the 50 other years where they didn't win the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott's too expensive. There's a reason you guys have not made the playoff, or no, sorry. You guys make the playoffs, you don't make it far in the playoffs. And that's because your guys are getting to be too expensive, you know? Rookie deals don't last forever. You're going to need to get a new quarterback. The Bengals. Joe Burrow has done nothing for you in terms of winning Super Bowls. He's made it to 1. Great. That's not good enough. I know you guys are excited because you guys normally are way worse than even this, but if you're not making the Super Bowl every other year, you need a new quarterback. Like, come on. Get on the carousel and let's have some fun. Okay, so I just looked up the New Orleans Saints quarterback, and apparently he's Andy Dalton, who is famous for being trash from the Bears. I don't even know. I looked up the Saints record because that's like the same as the NFC South, where the Falcons are. They're also 7-10, a middling team in a middling division. Wonderful. Like, what are you guys doing? You guys got to not have mediocre quarterbacks. Get a new one. This is your chance. Stop to not be mediocre. You know, obviously, not every single player in the game can be as good as what's the guy's name? The guy that won a Super Bowl. Not Peyton Manning. Oh my God. How do I not? Oh my God. Wait, who is the New Orleans quarterback that won Super Bowl? How do I not know this? I really should know. This is one take. I don't want to look it up. I have this. I know this. I should know this. New Orleans quarterback. He beat all 32 NFL teams, I think, because he was on the Chargers at some point before becoming a Saint. He beat Peyton Manning in his 1 Super Bowl. I know that. How do I not know his name? This is sad. Like, unironically, I don't watch football that much, but this is sad. Drew Brees. That's it. Not every quarterback can be Drew Brees, but you have to try. Don't settle for mediocrity. Oh my God. Is anyone watching at this point? I don't know. If you're watching, you could be a quarterback because you have the patience and discipline that is necessary to go to college for 4 years and be a college football quarterback. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Let's just go to the next team. The Chiefs. I would not make the joke that I've been making for this entire video, but I'm pretty sure Patrick Mahomes started playing only after the Chiefs' other quarterback, Alex Morgan, no, that's not his name. Alex Morgan is a soccer player. Alex Smith, I think. Is it Alex Smith? Am I right? Yes. Yep, I'm so good at football. Alex Smith got hurt. He got injured so Mahomes could run. Now, Mahomes is arguably the greatest quarterback in the league right now. Arguably on track to become one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But who knows, right? There's always someone better. Chase that next quarterback. Okay, I can't do this with a straight face. The Chiefs are just going to win the Super Bowl next year no matter what they do. The Lambs. or the Rams as they're known normally. So I, as a Patriots fan, have called the Rams the Lambs as a joke because lambs are weak. And the name is just stuck. So I'm not sure if I should be sorry, because I do still think it's very funny to call them the Lambs instead. But I don't do it on purpose, per se. It's just a force of habit at this point. Anyway, apparently Baker Mayfield is your starting quarterback now. I don't know what happened to Matt Stafford. You guys won a Super Bowl with him. What is happening in the front office? But get rid of Baker Mayfield. Get a new quarterback instead. Yeah. The Dolphins. Okay. Tua gets hurt a lot. Tom Brady's probably not actually coming to the Dolphins. I don't know where those leaks originated, but nothing's come of them in a while, so yeah, you guys should probably get a backup. Either in case Tua gets hurt or whatever. You never know when you're going to need one. And you're probably going to need one. The Bills. How many Super Bowls have you made? Come on, get the next Jim Kelly. Get a quarterback that'll actually take you to the end for once. The Broncos. Okay. This is from the website I'm reading, which has the orders of all the draft picks. Russell Wilson has been a disaster thus far. The Broncos will give him another chance next year because they don't really have a choice, but they'll need to find a young replacement in case Wilson is awful once again in 23. Honestly, replace the in case with a because, and I wouldn't have said it any better myself. The Cleveland Browns. Honestly, at this point, you guys should just draft another quarterback because it's funny how many quarterbacks you guys have drafted and signed and sucked with. Okay, I think this is the last one. San Francisco 49ers. You guys had like 1,000 quarterbacks and they all got hurt last year. You guys should just draft a quarterback with every single one of your picks because you're going to need them all, apparently. I mean, okay, if you're being real, you should get like an O-line guy or something to actually protect your quarterbacks, but for the joke, I'm going to say that you should get another quarterback. You guys should have made 1,000 more Super Bowls than you have, I'm sorry. So, yeah, that has been my amazing and totally 100,000% legit NFL 2023 draft prediction thing, /suggestion/recommendation. Happy April Fool's Day, and if you want me to do an actual video where I actually look into stats and stuff and actually consider what teams need, like and subscribe. Oh, man. Bye.